Hey, my name is ShawNshawN. I sell art on ShawNshawN.co and screen reads on ShawNshawNacting.com. Today we're going to review Free Guy. So this is a film by Shawn Levy. It's an hour and 55 minutes. A little bit longer than the hour and a half I like, but it is very quickly paced. No dead time here. Actors are Jodie as Millie, Ryan Reynolds as Guy, Taika Waititi as Antoine, the evil CEO, John Krasinski is the voice of Player, Lil Rel Howery is Buddy, Keery is Keys. So it's kind of the story of a day in the life of an NPC who is just this banker that goes to work every day, meets his security guard friend, Buddy. They meet up, but they go to the bank. That bank always gets robbed 2 or 3 times a day, and then they go home. Maybe they get shot, but everything repeats every day, right? So it's just a peaceful life. And they don't know, they're not aware that they're just a video game. Millie's this real world person inside the game, and she suspects that Antoine has stolen their IP. Because they sold their game to this company, but the game was never used. But she's very sneakily suspicious that somehow the current game that he's making a lot of money off of is based off their IP, and she wants to prove it. And her ex-partner Keys, he's beyond this. He's like, just settle for a day job, working inside the new company, and he's, just thinks Millie's kind of a lost cause. And slowly but surely, Millie, with the help of Guy, kind of uncover and find the truth behind Antoine's evil plan. So it's a really kind of interesting concept of a quirky AI character who's very generic, and he kind of becomes self-aware by accident because he always looks forward to the superheroes who are actually the real life players playing video games, and they have sunglasses. So he grabs a pair of sunglasses, and then he realizes, oh my god, the world is completely different than it really is. And then it really awakens his AI. He starts to develop as a character beyond his original construct. It's also kind of the feel a little bit of Groundhog's Day, but a good version. Because the character Guy constantly lives the day over and over again, so you're kind of living that over again, but at the same time the plot moves along and then it repeats his life. So it's kind of interesting, the mix of those two concepts. It's interesting too, you have these 2 kids, idealistic kids. They wrote the game and then they didn't know how to take it live, so they sold it to this big video game company run by Antoine. The game never went anywhere, so one just kind of moves on and one has suspicions on the game. So it's kind of this interesting split between the original founders, Millie and Keys. It's really fun to see Taika Waititi play as an actor versus a director. He's always a director as well, but he played kind of the bad Hitler in one of his films as kind of a comical Hitler. And so this is kind of the same thing where he's kind of playing this deviant kind of say. Really fun, delicious role for him. The blend of reality and, actually how we're kind of getting closer and closer to kind of the Matrix feel to video games where you just see it and it just really feels like real life in a way. Getting closer and closer with the graphics and the plot stories. I think it's still a lot of thin plot lines, so to say, so there's not a lot of depth to characters, but they might look a lot more realistic. If they base it off kind of Call of Duty and you got World War II, you got a lot of real life kind of things to fall back on, so it feels kind of real, but at the end of the day, a lot of them kind of they don't feel as in depth as they could plot wise, but they do have a lot of great graphics effects, I think, nowadays. So it's just a matter of developing this storylines really, and this character's really solid to kind of get to the next level, I think, in the real world. It's also kind of a concept takeoff of Westworld where the NPCs are completely expendable. No one sees the AI characters as valuable on their own, so it's kind of a twist off of what's the value of AI if they just play these characters and they just complete their merry role and they're totally oblivious. Personally, I think once it gets to that level, I don't think AI will be that dumb. They'll actually probably, between that, a dumb character and Terminator, somewhere the truth lies in between, I think. So I think it'll be very self-aware eventually. I don't know if it's in our lifetime or it's, Tesla founder Elon Musk thinks so. So we'll see if that's the case. Then maybe we should start buying a lot of weapons and prepare for the zombie apocalypse. But I think in that scenario where people think, AI takes over and it's evil, I don't think we would survive because they just wipe out the food supply, right? I mean, if you wipe out the food supply, we eat each other, and then at the end of the day, we're dead because there's no food supply, right? Or you poison all the water supplies, you're done as well. So I don't think we'd have I don't think we'd do too well if the AI actually goes that route of taking on humankind, because they could quickly figure out that we constantly need food and energy, and they do too, so we can try to cut their electricity, but as long as they kind of have solar power or something like that, or nuclear power, there's no way for us to really stop them, I think. And it's really interesting in the end of the film, there's kind of like this ideal world that the AI characters live in, which is kind of unrealistic, I think. I think the Matrix got it more right in the sense that people would be miserable in an ideal world and actually like a miserable world. At least humans. I don't know about AI characters. Maybe AI characters would like to be an ideal world, so who knows, who's to say. If AI develops the same characteristics as humans in the sense that they're not always unhappy, they're always striving for more, I don't know if AI would have the same kind of They would obviously try to improve, but I don't think they would have any regret of being inferior until they're massively superior to their former selves, and they might like, look at this crap we came from. This is ridiculous, right? But who's to say, right? We'll see in the future how that goes. And that's my review of Free Guy. I recommend it. It's a fun, really fun movie, pretty original concept. If you'd like to subscribe, you can subscribe below. And I'll see you in the next movie review. Thanks for watching, guys.